Yeah, that's what I think too. Something just go around there and reseal it.
Type the questions or comments in the chat. Cherie, how are you? I'm having a conversation, or looking to have a conversation, about panhandling in New Brunswick. I'll wait for a couple people to jump on. If you have any comments, concerns, questions about panhandling in New Brunswick, we've been getting a lot of complaints about it, and so I figured I would jump on, have a quick conversation about panhandling instead of trying to type it in the chat and some things get taken out of context, or people can't see it. I just wanted to have a conversation. Mr. Morin, how are you? Blake, how are you? So I'll start in about, I'll give it 2 minutes, maybe. I'm waiting for a couple people to chime in that I know. I had some thoughts. The weather outside is unreal, so be careful out there. Shut down a couple roads already, flooding. So, and this is supposed to stick around for the weekend. I can't fix my hat. The camera is reversed, so I'm doing something fancy with my hat. Alright, so I'll just get started. I'll let people know that I'm live, so hopefully they jump on. And then whatever we miss, we can double back and either discuss. I can answer some questions. If you can hear me, give a thumbs up. If I need to be louder, let me know. If I'm too loud, let me know, but I doubt that. I don't speak loud to begin with. So the issue of panhandling in New Brunswick. I'll start with a little bit of background on what the city does, what the partners do in relations to working with the homeless population. So the city of New Brunswick is home to Elijah's Promise Soup Kitchen. We're home to J&J. We're home to Rutgers University, the two major hospitals, which are both community hospitals and triage hospitals. We're on the busiest train line corridor in New Jersey. Might be the tri-state with the Northeast Corridor. We have New Jersey Reentry, which is also here. We are the county seat, so all of the coordinated homelessness related social services are located right here in New Brunswick. The one-stop shop is on Jersey Avenue. We are home to 28 and climbing food pantries in the city of New Brunswick. We are home to no less than two, and we can say three soup kitchens. We are also home to New Jersey Reentry, where individuals that are getting out of correctional facilities are trying to get back into society. We are, what else? That's it. So that's it for now. I mean, we have I'll add the rotating shelter, which is we are maybe one, possibly the only rotating shelter in Middlesex County, which provides housing for 15 males throughout the winter. Off the coordinated assessment list, we run code blue, we run code red, which is when the temperature hits 90 degrees, we open up cooling centers. We have Dignity Center now, which provides showers and hygiene kits and bathroom facilities. You can also get free your medication here. You can get birth certificates, etc. And we have housing. So do we have enough housing? Probably not, considering the amount of homeless people throughout the county, but we do have a great deal of housing, whether it's through domestic violence or any other social service need. So all of that, and on top of that, we don't have a panhandling ordinance. Our ordinance was shot down legally. We lost a case to a panhandler. And so it is legal to panhandle in New Brunswick. It's legal to panhandle in a lot of municipalities across the state of New Jersey because, it's their right. At one point, we had it set up to where you couldn't panhandle in certain distances of like a bank, a restaurant, some other, sort of government facility, and all of that was taken away. So the folks, residents, are rightfully so. They are concerned and they are frustrated with the amount of panhandlers that you see in the city of New Brunswick and downtown and across the city as well. And the challenge is, without seeing everything that I just ran off for you, but you see a new building going up, or the presumption is that the city is doing absolutely nothing to take care of the panhandling issue. It's a challenge. It's a challenge that New Brunswick is not, it's not exclusive to New Brunswick. It's one of those things where some folks are in genuine need of money and help. There's other folks that take full advantage of the opportunity and make this is their full-time job. We've known panhandlers to, get off the train, come to New Brunswick, make $500, $600, and jump right back on the train. We've known panhandlers to, take their sign out of their car, their luxury car, and panhandle 2 blocks away, put the sign back in the trunk, and then get out of Dodge. The other side of that coin, we know panhandlers that have a co-op, and they actually have a system in place where they take shifts on different in different locations in New Brunswick, and then at the end of the night or end of the week or however they do it, they pool all their money together and buy, drugs in bulk, which is actually, love it or hate it, some of them more coordinated than a lot of these organizations that are around. And then you have folks that are genuinely just trying to get a couple bucks to get a sandwich, or get a couple bucks to get into a hotel for the night, or transportation to get on the train. So there's levels to this panhandling situation. some folks are in desperate need, some folks are taking full advantage, and some folks are, trying to support their habit. Um, what are we doing about it? So, in the past, we've tried to um, put police out, more policing on the streets, walking the beat. It works for a little while, and then it doesn't work. It creates some tension and some more issues. Believe it or not, we have a ton of advocates for this population. So there is um, part of the challenge is, are we over policing panhandlers, right? So are we creating the opportunity for there to be more of an issue with adding police to the puzzle on panhandling? They can't get physical with them. It's perfectly legal. If they're not, aggressive or physically harming somebody or damaging somebody, there's nothing that our officers can do. We can ask them to move on if they're in front of private property, but 9 out of 10, they'll just walk away and come back. You add the component now, as of late, of mental illness, which has been spiking. So you add that layer to it, which makes things even more complicated, because now you're dealing with folks who may be mentally challenged, panhandling, which can scare anybody. And it's a frustrating experience and a frustrating situation for residents, taxpayers, homeowners, individuals who work downtown or work in New Brunswick. Because I also want to make sure that people know that the panhandling situation is not exclusive to downtown New Brunswick. Also, you ride out French Street, you ride the Handy Street, Rutgers Village out there on Route 1 and 18. There's challenges out there. Paul Robeson Boulevard, we know about all of the entry points into the city, and the exits to the city, the gateways, the Albany Street Bridge going into Highland Park. I mean, you name it, they're everywhere. So some things that we can do and some things that we are doing. So how can, and you can chime in and ask questions in the comment if need be, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I'll also save this live so people can listen again or watch it again. If you want to share it, please share it. I'm asking you to share it now, so we can bring more folks into the conversation. We don't have all the answers, so we will not come off as if we do. I definitely won't come off as if we have all the answers, but it is a complex situation that will take some partnership with community members, the social service agencies across the city and across the county, our downtown businesses, uptown businesses and residents. It has to be a collective effort to try to fix the situation. I will scare people right now by telling you that it's not going to get better and anytime soon if we don't put something drastic in place, and not because of anything that the city has done or because the residents are not doing or because the community is not doing or not because the social services are not doing, but just because of the age of COVID, and now with more people unemployed, with more social service agencies reduced in relations to funding, with shelters at full capacity, at hotels at full capacity, or not accepting new clients, or agencies not accepting new clients because of the fear of COVID, with hospitals packed to the gills. I mean, it's just one of those things where we're going to see more people in need. We see it in our pantries already. We see it in social services already. We see it with rental assistance already. The fear is that these folks are normally overlooked on a good day, so now you have the added layer of the pandemic, and you are going to increase this population almost 60-70%, no question. I was out at ShopRite on Route 130 a week ago, and there was a whole family at the entrance of ShopRite in North Brunswick with a big sign asking for money and asking for food and asking for clothes because they lost their job. The mother lost their job during COVID, and they're just trying to figure out how they can get into a hotel. So I say all that to say that there needs to be something put in place, a little more. And it may not be a law, it may not be some sort of policy, but it may need to be more services. And unfortunately, all these individuals that are out there panhandling are not doing it in good faith. But there's a great deal of panhandlers out there that this is the only way to eat and this is the only way to survive. And who am I to tell them that they are in the wrong for doing that? Now, when they become aggressive and when they're damaging property and when they are scaring folks, then that's another conversation. That is, now you're breaking the law, and we 100% get that. So what we ask residents to do is let us know. We have a Reported app. You can go to Reported. I think it's reported.com. It's on our city's website. So if you go to the city of New Brunswick.com, there's a Reported app or link that you can submit your complaint, and we can address it that way. You can call the office at 732-745-5004. You can ask for Keith Jones, and we can try to address it that way. Or there's some things that we can do locally and as residents and as good citizens and partners of the city. The first thing we can do is use good judgment. Use good judgment. For every person that doesn't give a panhandler any money, you have 10 people that will give that person money. And they do it for various reasons. They do it because they genuinely feel sorry for the person. There's a little bit of guilt there. There is some fear there. So if I give this person $5, they'll leave me alone. There's all these reasons why folks give money to these panhandlers. Me personally, I used to be that person that would give a panhandler $10 here, $20 if I got it on me, $5, some change. I've learned over the years not to do that. If you genuinely want to help these panhandlers, ask them have they contacted 211. Because most of you read their sign first. The sign say I'm homeless and want to get off the street. So if you see the sign, say, well, have you contacted 211? 211 is the Coordinated Assessment Homeless Hotline. And it's for the entire county. So it's not just for New Brunswick. So in order to get shelter or any sort of service, you have to go through coordinated assessment. So it's not that you see a homeless person in New Brunswick, you call City Hall, and we put that person in housing. That's not how it works anymore. That used to be how it works, especially if we had a relationship with the shelter. Now everybody from the entire county, the entire population of homeless individuals in the county, all go through one channel. And so you can be homeless in Old Bridge or from Old Bridge, but you go through the system. So if you see a homeless person in New Brunswick, that doesn't necessarily mean that New Brunswick person is being housed in New Brunswick. That person in Old Bridge, if their number is up, they get housed in the first available bed, which may be New Brunswick, maybe Edison, maybe Perth Amboy, maybe Highland Park. So there's a challenge there. And do we have enough beds in the county? No. Do we have enough resources in the county? Probably more than other counties, but we probably can always do better. And not to say that the county and that the resources that are available now and the folks that are working now are not doing their best to try to house these folks. It's just, it's like a boat in the ocean with holes in it. The faster and we're trying to get water out of the boat with a cup, you know. So the thought is how you can work it. Use good judgment on with the panhandler. Read the sign. Definitely read the sign. Sign gives away a lot of information. If you feel like you need to ask that person, if you feel comfortable, ask them if they are if they part of coordinated assessment. Ask them if they call 201. Chances are they'll probably tell you, yeah, they called 201 and they're waiting there on the list. Next, do not give them money. Do not give them money at all. The best way that you can help us kind of ease up on the panhandling is not giving them money. If you don't give them money, they will either relocate to another location, and when that location dries up, they'll locate to another location. When that location dries up, they'll locate to another location. After a while, you sort of put a panhandler that's not here for the right reasons out of business. The panhandlers that are here to get a better way of life will take the resource that you're giving them. So, what is that resource? If they're actually looking for, if they say, hey, look, I'm trying to get a sandwich and something to drink. If you were going to give them money anyway, say, hey, look, what do you want to eat? You know, if there's a store close, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. I'll buy you a sandwich, whatever it is. But don't give them the money. You pay for whatever it is that they're asking for. And that's that. If you feel like you need to, there's the Make It Count program that we're trying to expand now. We really got hung up during COVID. There are these red meters all across the city. About 20 of them. We're trying to add maybe 20 more. That's the plan, my plan anyway. And the goal of those meters are to donate money to the local agencies or to the services supporting this population. So that's everything from all of the agencies that I named and ran off in the beginning, to the Meals on Wheels, to Unity Square. We were looking at using some of the funds, and this is me being brutally honest with you, we were looking at using some of the funds early on in the pandemic for masks and hygiene kits for the homeless population. But, you know, the donations didn't match the level of supplies that we would need. So we're asking people to donate more into these red meters if you feel that you want to contribute to the cause. They're red meters. They look like parking meters. They say make it count on it. You can donate by credit card. You can donate by coin. There's also, if you look on our city's website again, citynewbrunswick.org. I don't know. I don't go on the city site as much. Don't tell anybody that. But the resource is there, and you can make a donation from your home as well. And this is a partnership with the Parking Authority, the City of New Brunswick, and United Way of Milltown, which is our fiscal agent. And this money goes to the City of New Brunswick sees none of the dollars. The money goes right from the Parking Authority right to United Way. And then we make a decision on where we should start to disperse these funds. But again, the funds haven't been large enough numbers as of yet to just say, hey, we give 2,000 to this agency, you know, another 1,000 to this agency, and so on and so on and so on. But with the information that you can get at most of our restaurants downtown, there's these Make It Count cards that take you to a link. That link has all of the agencies that are doing the work in the City of New Brunswick, etc. So the thought is, if you're going to invest into this community and you feel like you need to help financially, donate your money into one of the Make It Count meters. If you encounter a panhandler that you feel that you want to help, don't do it financially. Purchase that meal or purchase whatever it is for that person. If you feel that that person is a threat to you, you can call the police. If this person is a threat, if you just don't like panhandlers and you just think that they are just, not good people, I mean, honestly, that's not a good reason to call the cops. But if this person is aggressive, this person is harming your property in some way, then I would ask you to call New Brunswick Police Department. I would also ask you to call his office so we can follow up. And then I would also ask that if you feel comfortable enough having a conversation with the panhandler, ask them if they've called 211. I think the idea that we need to work on is empowering residents with information to be able to be ambassadors for all of the work that is being done in the city of New Brunswick. So, we get people all the time saying, "Hey, why aren't there any programs for the homeless population? Why isn't it this for this homeless population? Why isn't it that?" And that's not the case. There's a ton of it. It's just that there may not be an education on what's available, and that's our fault as well. But it could be more of a conversation about what's available. So when you encounter these folks, you can say, "Hey, you can go two blocks down the street and see a case manager, or you can go 3 blocks up the street and go to a food pantry, or you can go 1 block over and get your medication." Or, if you're looking for socks, you're looking for blankets, you're looking for housing, you're looking for all these different things, you can go 3 blocks down the street and go to the social service agency. Another thing that we're looking to do is empower our neighborhood block, our crime watch clubs and our block clubs. Okay, got questions now. And empowering our neighborhood block clubs and providing them with the information so they can go door to door. So when we give out like the recycling papers and everything, do the street cleanups, we can also start to give out this information based on the amount of the houses or partners in the crime watch. So I really think like every neighborhood club or crime watch should be also having conversations about, when they do the cleanups, about the panhandling. I'll stop there and I'll read some of these questions and figure out how we can. Is panhandling an issue because of outdoor dining? Is there no separation between the diners and panhandlers? Is it an issue because of outdoor dining? No. Panhandling has always been an issue in New Brunswick, especially for as long as I've been here. Is there no separation between? I mean, how do you identify a panhandler? So it could be me, buying a burger at Tavern on George, but I get up from eating at Tavern on George and I ask somebody at the next table for $20. So I think we need to be careful on how we, section off certain people from coming into certain areas. These are all public spaces. Janelle, I'm doing this live primarily for you, so your question is next. I live on Georgia, Paul Robeson, blah, 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 blah. Right, so I live near George and Paul Robeson. As you know, we clean the trash off of property. They use the bathroom behind our condos, units, some visibly on drugs and leaning in front of our homes. This is unfair to residents. As you shared, many are not using this for genuine needs. Other cities do. That's not true. Other cities do allow it. Part of the challenge is most cities send their folks here. As I said, I run a Dignity Center as well in the city of New Brunswick. The last 5 people that we had today at the Dignity Center, none of them were from New Brunswick. One was as far as the Bronx. One was from Hartford, Connecticut. He's been here for 3 weeks. Another one was from Florida. He's been here for 6 weeks. for some strange reason, and this has been historic, people make it to New Brunswick. And when you make it to New Brunswick, it's almost as if, for the lack of a better term, it's the land of milk and honey when it comes to resources. So it's not that other cities don't allow it, it's that they send their folks here. And we've always had this internal conversations. We've been having these conversations with the county. We've been having these conversations with other partners and agencies about holding other towns accountable for the population of homeless individuals that are in New Brunswick. If I was to show you one of my Cold Blue sheets from people that are staying with me overnight at Cold Blue, 25% of them may be from New Brunswick. The other 75 are from all over the state of New Jersey. So it's one of those things where trying to come up with the best concept to attack the problem, attack the issue, it's a moving target. They should definitely not be destroying your property or destroying your home or leaving garbage and any of those things, or using a bathroom. That's foul. What I can do is have a conversation with you and your condo association to develop some sort of strategy on how we attack it. It could be I had a conversation with a property owner this week, and his property is being used as a public bathroom as well, unfortunately. And one of the simple things that we've done, one of the simple things, 2 seconds. Yeah. What's up? Let me call you back. I'm on the line. So, one of the things that we've done is lit the place up, add more lights, add cameras, add this individual, this property owner, added the Ring camera or doorbell, which basically alerts when anybody's around your property. And if we can start to identify these spots, then we can, or these individuals, we can either get them help or figure out what the issue is. But I know where you're at. Your place is situated at the gateway of New Brunswick. You're also situated right outside of the men's shelter. You're also situated right outside of Elijah's Promise. And I know that is not a easy, and there's no fault of your own. You purchased your place, you invested in the city, you have a family, you're trying to do all the right things. What I ask of you is let's figure out a way to sit down with your association and with the New Brunswick Police Department and some of the advocates and figure out how we could put a plan together for your since they're on the sidewalk in front of homes. Yeah, so I have called the police and they said there's very little they can do since they're on the sidewalk, they're in front of our homes. The police understand. Oh, I understand your frustration. And yes, we can spread the information about panhandling. The police really can't do a lot because of the sidewalk situation, but the moment they start to do the trash thing and damage your property and use your lawn as a bathroom or the back of your place a bathroom, we definitely can do something about that. That's not something that we should just let slide. Really, Keith, not feed them, give them money. I'm sure they want lodging, but they also need an instant fix like a meal. So yeah, so the idea is, I don't know if you got on a little later in the call, but we have no less than 27 food pantries that if you showed up to all 27 today, you would get food today. We have no less than 3 soup kitchens that if you showed up right now, you would get a meal today. We have a house of worship that give out bag lunches. We have churches all day that give food out. Part of the challenge is we have so many people that do so good and they're good people at heart that they come to New Brunswick because they know homeless people are here. So we have houses of worship. from all different religions that come here at 11 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. They set up in front of the train station. They come with pans of food. They give these folks food. And they'll come to the library. They give them meals. So much so that it sort of does a disservice to what we're trying to do as well, because we have folks that won't come into a Cold Blue because it's one time, once you're in for the night. They rather not come into a Cold Blue center because they can't go back out at 1 o'clock to go get food. So it's one of those things where we understand people want to help, and we understand that people want to do great things, and we appreciate it, but we're trying to figure out ways to coordinate it in a way that it's not doing a disservice. Case in point, the train station, New Brunswick train station, for the past 3 or 4 years closes at night. Why did it close at night? People automatically thought New Brunswick closed it. The city of New Brunswick closed the train station and they kicked the homeless out of the train station. Not true. What it was is there was a custodian there's one custodian for New Jersey Transit on shift over the night shift. We had plenty groups that were coming down and just feeding the homeless population. They were bringing tables, they were bringing music, they were bringing food, they were bringing all these things to feed the homeless. But the challenge was nobody was cleaning up after they were serving these folks. And it became an issue with the custodian because he's down there by himself, and these groups were coming to feed, but nobody was taking care of the garbage afterwards. He reported back to his higher-ups, and what NJ Transit ended up doing was closing down the train station overnight. So that's why you have to use the outside elevator or stairs. So it was a good service that was being done, and it was all in good intentions. But at the end of the day, what it did was, now those homeless people that were staying inside the train station overnight have now been removed because, one, NJ Transit didn't have the capital or the money to add another guy overnight. And then the groups that were doing the work didn't want to cooperate and clean up after they did any of the meal distributions. So it became a situation where it was like, all right, well, if you won't clean up, we can't add another guy. We'll just shut it down. And at the end of the day, what did it do? It hurt the homeless individuals that were actually using it as shelter and pushed them out into the street. So it's one of those things where it's a give and take and trying to figure out what is the best possibility to do it. No, but I'm definitely not saying don't feed them. That would be crazy. I've often found the food that they have been given bags of time left. Yes, Janelle, again, I agree. And again, this is not a situation about panhandling anymore. This is about them just littering on your property. And that's an issue. So that's not okay, and that's something that should be taken care of. Come and get these showers also. Marquise Duncan is a brother. He's been driving for us for the Dignity Center, Fish Hospitality, and he's been an amazing help. He will basically come get you from wherever you are in New Brunswick and beyond and transport you to the showers and back to wherever you need to go. And he does this every Tuesday and Friday. When I need him, he's there, and I just met this brother 2 months ago of that. And he's been the real deal. So I appreciate that dude. But I want to stick to how we move forward on the panhandling. So if you're not a member of your block club or your neighborhood association, or if you don't have one, let's start one. If you are a part of one, start to attend the meetings. There's an officer that normally attends the meetings, as well as somebody from the city in terms of quality of life. Have the conversation about panhandling. If you want me to come, I can come to the meeting and have a conversation about it. Janelle, what I would like to do with you is I would like to be put in contact with whoever runs the association, and let's figure out how we can work together to figure out a plan for your complex. You should definitely not have to deal with the garbage and the urination and all this other stuff. That is, or you should definitely not have to deal with the aggressive nature. If it becomes aggressive, it's now a police matter. It's no longer a social service situation. It is a police matter. I know from experience, and I can say from my position that I've been in for a while. If folks continue to give panhandlers money, they will not go anywhere. They will stay here. Those who need the service will. Okay, cool, even better. All right, so if you are, I will reach out to you if you can call the office if you have time. I think I'll reach out to you directly, and we'll coordinate. And I'll give you my cell phone, and we can talk. I'll figure out a plan. That's no problem. Any more questions? But I will say this. I would say that this is not a new issue. It's not something that we are not. This is not something that we are oblivious to, or that we're not trying to attack every day. We are working on it. I know it's become more of an issue, or it's being brought to the light even more now because folks are eating downtown, and you see individuals out. Can we kick people from downtown? No. We wouldn't do that anyway. This is just as much their public space as it is anybody who's eating downtown. So we can't do anything about that, and we wouldn't do anything about that. But again, when it becomes a situation where you feel that your space is being encroached on, or you feel like you're being threatened, or you feel like your life is, or you feel like your safety is in jeopardy, then that's another conversation, and that's something that we can address and that we should address. But I do want to make sure that folks know about, one, the reason why people are panhandling in New Brunswick, or the reasons, and then two, the services that are available, and then three, figuring out ways that community can also partner with the administration as well as the other partners to figure out ways forward. It's not a situation where government can sign some sort of resolution or ordinance, and panhandling is now an offense, a low-level offense, or it goes away overnight. It's not going to happen. It's just something that's going to take a collaborative effort and some patience, unfortunately. So I thank you for listening to me. If you have any more questions, feel free to. My email is KeithJones. I'll drop it in the chat right now. KeithJones, number 11, at City of New Brunswick. My number is 745-50-004. I think Mike Tublin added the Make It Count program information if you're interested in looking at that. I think that's everything. So actually, bear with us. We are working on it. We don't see everything, so if there's some things we need to know. I know Hubert is a professional in terms of knowing everything that's happening in the city. So, and look, and we'll be honest with you, sometimes we need the pressure to be applied to us as well. So, we don't take that for granted, and, we are in a position where our jobs are to be people criticized, be critical of what the work that we do. That's why we're here. So we're not afraid of that, nor should we. We should expect it, and we should be in a position to respond. So that's part of the reason why I jumped on. I wanted to make sure that it was a lot that needed to be said. I knew it wouldn't work in a chat. So I thank you for your patience. I thank you for investing in the city. I thank you for being a good partner. and we'll figure it out. But I would just urge and ask, you know, let's figure out a way forward. So with that being said, it's 3:30. I'm on here for 44 minutes. Share this. If you want to check it out again, please do. There's a lot of information in there, and we'll try to figure it out. With that being said, thank you for listening, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.